What's up, dudes? I'm the Dominicator, and in this video, I'm going to hypnotize you to bro out. That is to do bro things in bro attire and with a bro mindset. So, when you're ready to get hypnotized for that, then just mute any distractions. And, by the way, as in all of my videos, I command you to leave a comment at the end while hypnotized, so go ahead and log into an account that you can use for that. Alright, my dudes. Let's begin by looking at the pocket watch in front of you. And as you look at the pocket watch, the more that you do, the more that you feel a wonderfully pleasant and a mind-melting feeling as it just swings and sways back and forth. Something about the look of it just feels so good. It has such a wonderfully calming and a mind-melting feeling effect on you and on your mind. And you can hear from the sound of my voice, there's a wonderful, warm and masculine and dominant tone and texture about it that just feels so good to sink and to float and to drift into. The more that you do, the better that you feel. The more that you just want to take in and receive the suggestions that I give you. And the more that you receive those suggestions, the more that you just want to follow them. And the more that you follow them, the better that you feel. You feel a nice and wonderful and tickly and tingly feeling about taking in, receiving, and following the suggestions that I give you. There's something about that just feels so good that it just makes you want to do it. And as you continue to look at that pocket watch, just feeling the wonderfully mind-melting feeling of just watching it go back and forth as it takes your eyes with it, the more that you do, the more that you feel such a wonderfully pleasant feeling. A wonderfully pleasant feeling as each and every word that I speak intersects with your own thoughts, and it just begins to melt them away. There's a wonderfully warm, a dominant, a mind-melting feeling and effect from the sound of my voice that just causes each and every single one of your thoughts to begin to melt away, to drip and drop down into you and form a kind of fuel and an energy, a kind of fuel and a masculine energy inside of you. That just feels so good. It just makes you want to drift down and drop down, to go down, to snap down even deeper, even further and even faster. That wonderfully warm and masculine feeling, that state, that which feels so good. And in a moment when I snap my fingers, then you will go down, drop down, sink down, and snap down in that state. It'll just feel so good as you do. You'll just flop down just like a rag doll, and you'll feel all of the negative stresses, tensions, cares, and worries, energies, and just melt right out of you in that moment. And now, just sleep as you just flop down, drop down, and just like a rag doll. That just feels so good. And as you continue just to float down, drift down, and drop down, even more and further and faster, it just feels even better and better just to float down, drift down, to sink down into the sound of my voice, a wonderful, warm, and masculine, dominant feeling that drips and drops down on top of you, and just melts away your thoughts, also imparts a kind of masculinity into you, and then begins to pervade all throughout you. There's something about it that just feels so good as it begins to work its way inside of you. And you feel a wonderfully masculinizing effect of feeling. You can feel all the negative cares, worries, stresses, and tensions inside of your mind as they melt down and they form a fuel and an energy for the muscles and the muscle fibers inside of your body. You can feel the feeling of strength and attunement with your own body, a sense of masculine energy that you can feel coursing and surging all through you as you just allow for the sound of my voice to cause a wonderfully mind-melting feeling effect. You don't have to, you don't want to, and you don't need to think about anything at all in these moments. All you need to do is just to take in, receive, follow those suggestions I give you, and even by doing so, causes you just to make you want to take in the commands that I give you. And that there's something about that, to feel that awesome, that wonderful, warm, that masculine, dominant force, even more so, and as it has, and as you feel it, and then you can feel even more the drips and the drops of that masculine energy as they move into you. They move into you as they pervade throughout you, as they become a part of you. There's something about even more force from the commands that I give you that causes that to happen even more so. And there's something that just feels even better about following, about obeying the commands that I give you. The more that you do, then the better and better that you feel. And there's something about the presence of me and the sound of my voice that reminds you of a coach, a mentor, a master. And that word master rings inside of your mind, and something about that just feels so good. Having a master to follow and to obey. The more that you do, and the more that you feel the masculinizing effect from the sound of my voice as each and every word I say drips and drops into you and becomes a part of you. There's something about it that just feels so good. It makes you feel even more and more like a dude. There's something about that just feels so great. Something about that just feels so great. As you feel the feeling of the strength inside of your own body begin to heat up and to almost boil over as all the negative stresses, thoughts, cares, and worries in your mind just melt away. You feel a confidence, a masculine energy that runs and that rushes through you even more. And who better to learn that from than from a master? There's something about that word, and about following and obeying the commands that I give you, the commands of your master. That just makes you feel so good, so wonderful, so right. It's an awesome, wonderful feeling about it. An awesome and wonderful feeling about it. And it's something about that just gives you an awesome feeling of kind of masculine and almost dominant sportiness that surges and that courses and that through you and becomes a part of you. It just feels so good. It just feels so good. It feels so good, and you feel so tuned with your body. Then you want to feel and become even more tuned with it. And right now, if you're wearing a shirt, you're wearing any kind of clothing, and if it's not cold outside, then there's something about this feeling, this masculine feeling, the feeling of attunement with your body that just makes you want to take that shirt off. It just makes you want to take that shirt off. And you can take that shirt off right now. In fact, there's a feeling from the sound of my voice that's just like puppet strings around your body and around the muscles and muscle fibers of your body that seems to move and compel you to take your shirt off. And as you do, and you feel an even more and wonderful and awesome and masculine energy and a force that just surges and courses all throughout you. It just feels so good to be a dude. It feels so good just to bro out. It just feels so good just to bro out as you follow and as you obey the commands of your master. That just feels so good. It becomes exactly what it is that you want to do. And there is something that would feel so good as well about taking your shoes off or your socks off if you're wearing any. There's something about the feeling of liberty, feeling of your feet being in free contact with the ground and the air. It has a kind of masculinizing feeling effect about it. There's something about that just makes you want to take those shoes off, or those socks off if you're wearing any. There's something about it that just feels so good, and so right, and so nice. Feeling awesome and a wonderful and masculine feeling that just courses and surges throughout you as you now have your shirt off and your shoes off. Something about just being barefoot and shirtless as a dude that just feels so good. That just feels so good, it becomes exactly what you want to do. That becomes exactly what you want to do. And as you are in a very nice and wonderfully relaxed kind of mindset and feeling of all the negative cares and worries, stresses and tensions, and your mind is melting away, dripping down, dropping down into your body. You just feel so good, like such a masculine dude. And you feel your mind just kind of broing out as you just follow and obey your master. And you can even hear, as there are words inside of your mind that echo, and then are in reply to each and every single one of the suggestions, each and every single one of the commands that I give you. So the words, yes, master. The words, yes, master, and they pop up inside of your mind. And it just feels so good just to hear those words as they echo inside of your mind in response to each and every command, each and every suggestion I give you. The words, yes, master, that just feels so good. It feels so good to have such a dominant master to follow and to obey. A dominant master to follow and to obey. And to model yourself off of. That just feels so good. And you can feel bits and parts and pieces of me seeping into you, reaching into you. And there's something about this and being in the state that just makes you want to embark upon a masculine or a sporty hobby. There's something that just makes you want to bro out even more doing that. Now, it could be any kind of masculine hobby. It could be anything at all. And it could be a sporty hobby, something that allows you to feel the expression of this wonderfully awesome masculine dominant energy, the strength and the surge inside of your body. It could be weightlifting, and it could be any kind of sport, or it could be any other kind of masculine hobby. Could be anything at all. And as you do that, you have that feeling, that awesome and wonderful feeling of just broing out. That just feels so good. That just feels so good. And you'll carry that feeling back up with you into the waking world in a few moments. As in a few moments, I'll count you up all the way from 1 to 5. All the way from 1 to 5. And as you come back up on that count of 1 to 5, you'll feel it rising. And even more intense desire to go about engaging in that hobby, that masculine hobby. And as you do, feel the awesome and wonderful feeling of just broing out. And once I count you up back up to 5, then you also leave a comment for me. You will also leave a comment for me. It's a comment that says, "Yes, master, I will bro out as you command, master." You'll leave a comment that says, "Yes, master, I will bro out as you command, master." And as you leave that comment, it'll just feel so good to acknowledge that. And so good to acknowledge that you will, in fact, bro out. Those words will become completely and totally and absolutely true. And as you bro out, under the command of your master, and you feel just such a nice and happy and satisfying feeling of just being a dude. And that will just feel so good. That will feel so good that it'll give you a nice and tickly feeling, a surge of pleasantness all throughout you as you're following that command and as you're engaging in that masculine hobby. Now, beginning with 1, as you feel the lifting and rising, floating feeling begin to take you back up, and it just feels so good. 2, coming up even more, and feeling an awesome, wonderful surge of that masculine energy as it begins to wake you back up. 3, already halfway there, almost all the way back up now. 4, almost all the way back up now. And 5, eyes open and awake, my dudes. Alright, my dudes, check out Dominicator.com for some goodies, and I'll catch you later.